going on, guys? And today we're back with another patch notes review for SMITE. This is patch 5.4, SMITE birthday. It is the SMITE birthday. I guess they'd be, what is this, 5 years now? 5, 6 years? I don't even know. SMITE's getting old. But we have very exciting things coming to this patch. First one, the one that I'm excited about, is 2 new Ratatasker skins. The last version of the trio for the Adventure Fox game mode, whatever you want to call it, which we have Zenko Ratatasker.
I can do this. I have to go into the woods if I want to eat. Don't be afraid.
A lot of people were wondering what this rat was going to be because the previous 2 had their own personalities. The Kitsune was this like anime, heroic, fearless type of, you know, little whimsical fox. The Kage Ratatasker was this like bad boy kind of defiant one, and this one's the scared little, you know, actually, you know what? This is super reminiscent. I just now put it together. This is going to sound bad. You guys remember Powerpuff Girls from back in the day? One of them was like the rebel, and one of them was kind of, you know, cutesy, you know, innocent, and the other was kind of the leader. I think that's kind of what it's like almost. That's kind of the personalities they're going for. And then obviously if you collect all 3 of them, you get Final Fusion
With all the
Ratatasker.
fox's power as one, nothing can defeat us.
This one is just the true hero, heroic. Like every voice line, he's going in like he's the hero of the battle. So really, really cool. They kept the same kind of sound effects, but they amped them up a little bit. So we will be doing videos on every single skin later. Hopefully today, but whenever they release the PTS. So be on the lookout for those. We also have a Revenant Achilles. Achilles just came out last patch and he's already getting a skin.
Is the skull armor a bit much? Of course not. You can never have too many skulls.
Yeah, alright, so that's a Chuck line. Chuck had to personally come up with that one. We also get Bass Cannon Neath, so another EDM skin.
Party people, let the music guide your life.
Really cool. We have Beaky Chibi, so another Chibi skin as well.
You want some butt?
Wow. We have Pixel Beast Cornuno, so another Pixel skin as well.
I'm not cheating. I am just this awesome.
And then we also have Sylvan Sentinel Hoi, so another Celtic, earthen
There are many
type of
species that
skin.
call this forest their home, and hence no one shall ever threaten it.
Geb has a skin like this. I'm pretty sure Terra has a skin like this. Kind of that earthen Mother Nature type of skin. So EDM is one of the most popular skin themes. We get another one of them. We get another Pixel Buster theme. We get another Chibi theme. We're getting the Final Fusion Ratatasker. And then, of course, skulls. So we're getting some popular themes busted out all in one patch. Now, there is a SMITE bundle this patch. It's called the Birthday Bundle, 900 gems like normally. However, if you get it on day 1 the patch releases, which I know there will be comments saying, when does this patch come out? I don't know. SMITE doesn't know, Hi-Rez doesn't know yet. We never know when patches come out until they're done with the PTS. Basically, if the PTS goes smooth and there are no bugs and people are okay with the changes, the patch will get released quicker. But if there's a lot of bugs, people are unhappy with the changes, some things need balance, it's going to take a little longer. It's just how it goes. Usually about a week, though. We have usually about a week, 4 or 5 days of PTS before the skin actually, or the patch actually drops, and then a week later for console, obviously. But I will make an announcement when the PTS, or when the patch is actually dropping, so you guys can prepare for it. But if you do buy the bundle on day 1, it is 25% off. I think that's like 675 gems, I think they said. So if you get it day 1, 675 gems, you get this Bass Cannon Neath, you get Revenant Achilles, so these are the 2 skins that come in the bundle. It's a 2-skin bundle. You get an Enigma chest, you get the EDM music theme, you get the SMITE birthday loading frame, and you get a birthday present. Not quite sure what the birthday present will be. Oh, quests to unlock an awesome chest using the birthday present from the bundle. So is this like a automatic awesome chest? I'm not quite sure. We'll have to figure that out. New achievements for Achilles and Final Fusion. Oh, okay. So just collect all 3, and if you collect all 3 of the Ratatasker skins, you get an achievement for it. So they actually have an achievement, which is really cool. I already have the first 2. I just got to get the 3rd one, and I am super excited for this patch to drop because I really want that skin. Some of the miscellaneous things coming. The Neath does come with a VXG. It's the same as all the other EDM skins. She just kind of plays on her bow and the little rainbow checkered thing comes up beneath her. You can walk with the VXG, which is really cool. Cornuna's also gets one as well. We get the loading frame, the music theme, a fountain effects, which is coming, Pixel Buster, and then the Pixel Buster global emote as well. We also have adventures, so the Zenko Ratatasker and the Final Fusion are the new 2 ones. Item balances. You can already tell from the title because I probably put some, you know, who they nerfed and whatnot, who they buffed in it, but they went hard on this patch in terms of the nerfs and buffs. I was actually really impressed. We're just going to go ahead and jump into it. Blink, getting an increased cooldown by 20 seconds. There are like 3 item, relic, god combinations that kind of go together that really, really nerf someone, and we'll kind of get into that. Chalice of Oracle also getting some nerfs, increased the price from 300 to 400. I like this because I thought Chalice of Oracle, when it first, Season 5 first dropped, I thought it was underrated. I saw some people picking it up like a Mealsy and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, this is coming back into the meta. I started to use it, and eventually I started seeing it catch on, and yeah, we all know them chalices, so that's why the price is getting increased. Gauntlet of Thebes, I really liked this item coming in this season. Underperforming a little bit, so now we're getting a little buffs to it. Now gains 5 stacks for a god kill or assist. Emerald Talisman, however you want to call it. Updated, a couple changes. Increase the price by 200 and decrease the passive from 0.25 of your HP per second to 0.2. Also updated the description to be more precise and how the health was restored. Stone of Gaia, I believe this is like the tier 2 version of Stone of Gaia. I'm not positive, but I think it is. Increase the price from 2100 to 2250, so getting some nerfs on Stone of Gaia, and decrease the passive from 0.4% of your HP per second to 0.3. Updated the description to be more precise. I will also note what they mean by this is before Stone of Gaia's passive used to read as you gained... This is hard to explain. The base stats increase your health per 5, but its passive was also saying you got X amount of health per 5, when in reality your passive was actually giving you health every second. So what they did is just update the description to say that it actually does give you the health every second. It wasn't incorrect. It was telling you the proper amount that you were getting every 5 seconds. But it wasn't actually healing you every 5 seconds. It heals you every second, so now it states that it does heal you every second for the second passive. A little confusing, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, you're pretty happy with the change. Heartseeker, decrease the passive bonus damage trigger from 100% to 80%. So a couple of these items is what I was talking about. Heartseeker and Blink will go hand in hand with one of the gods that have been nerfed, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Rod of Tahiti, fix an issue where the bonus scaling would not apply to passive abilities. Doomorb, increase the magical power from 60 to 70. Soul Reaver, decrease the cost from 2750 to 2650, and it also increased the magical power from 120 to 130. So some buffs to Doomorb, Soul Reaver, and an unintentional buff to Rod of Tahiti. Some nerfs to Heartseeker, Stone of Gaia. We also get some nerfs to Shaman's Ring as well. Enchanted Ring, increase the physical power by from 30 to 45. However, Shaman's Ring gets an increased cost by 100. But it does get an increased magical power from 80 to 100. So it's... They nerfed and buffed this, kind of. But I think it's more of a buff because the tier 2 version gets a pretty decent increased power spike. And the final version gets a pretty decent increased power spike as well. And the only thing that changes on the nerf side is the final version of it costs 100 more, but I will take that for 20 extra power. Telekine's Ring, decrease the cost by 100 and increase the passive bonus damage on basic attacks from 10 plus 5% to 10 plus 8% of your magical power. So the attack speed item's getting some love here, definitely. Now on to the god ability, or the god balance, sorry, I know you're excited for this one. Achilles getting some pretty decent nerfs all around. Decrease the damage from his 1, used to scale from 100 to 340, is now 80 to 300. And decrease the stun duration, used to scale from 1.1 seconds to 1.5 seconds, is now 1 second at all ranks. So his 1, decreased damage all the way around. His stun on the 1, decreased the stun all the way around. The lowest rank used to be 1.1. Now it's 1 at all ranks. So it's just a flat nerf all the way around for that one. His combat dodge also now has a 2-second increase cooldown. So some pretty good nerfs to Achilles, but I think these are needed. His 1 is just amazing. It already scales at 90% power, okay? So there was no reason for it to have this high of base power and no reason for you to be stunned for a second and a half come late game. Ao Kuang, interesting changes here. His King of the Eastern Seas removed the brief window where he was untargetable during this casting time. So you're not supposed to be untargetable when you actually cast this, but you were. So it's just kind of a bug fix, but it's an unintentional nerf to Ao Kuang, because that's pretty big when you think about it. The fact that you might be able to get a kill off before that final hit goes off would be big. Apollo getting some love here, and I like this change big time. Simple, but it's really effective. His So Beautiful gets an increased base damage, used to scale from 70 to 290, is now 80 to 320. So in all aspects of the game, from beginning to end game, Apollo's clear is stronger. So that's just really good. Kronos also getting love here. They kind of want to make him an ADC again, because that's how a lot of people have always played Kronos. You know, ability-based Kronos wasn't the most popular one. It was obviously attack speed when you could play him in the ADC, kind of like mid-season 3-ish. So what they're doing is increase his basic attack power from 35 to 40. And his Time Lord increased the power per stack from 3 to 5, which goes at 50 minutes in-game. Used to be 75. You're going to have 125 magical power now. So they're really trying to make that change for Kronos. Ever since they removed his Fatalis effect, it's kind of just, you know, gone downhill. So trying to bring him back up to the ADC role a little bit. Fafnir's Cursed Strength increased the stun duration. Used to be 1 second at all ranks, is now 1 to 1.4 seconds. Really good there. I actually like that a lot. Fafnir was always fun to play. It just took forever to get him online. So hopefully this will help him a little bit. See what they do on his course. Decrease the self-healing. Used to scale from 50 to 150, is now 50 to 130. So just the late game getting nerfed a little bit. Decrease the self-healing scaling from 40% to 30%. Habois. I love these changes. I hate playing against Habois. I've hated playing against Habois no matter how good or bad he was. Mainly because his water spout, everyone always goes crazy about Habois' hand cannons. No, his water spout is insane, because when you think about it, his hand cannons, you got to be super up close, right? I know the cooldown's like 2 seconds and you can use it all the time. But water spout, especially in like Joust, do you know how crazy it is to level that first, get that maxed out as quick as you can, and just sit back, play super passive, and knock people in the air and take half their health away, and then like 6 seconds later do it again? It's nuts. It's always been nuts. It always has been nuts. I don't get why hand cannon is the revered ability for Habois. No, water spout. So what they're doing is decreasing the scaling on it by 10%. It's already a big time displacement and knocks you up in the air and kind of sideways. It can set up a Wheelix, it can set up other combos. So for having a big CC like that, and it already does a lot of damage, it didn't make sense to have it scale that much. So they're taking the scaling down a little bit. And his Atlas of the Yellow River also gets a 2-second increased cooldown. Kumbhakarna says he has struggled to really make his mark as a Guardian. We wanted to help him some. I like this. I haven't actually seen this change. I missed this part of the patch notes, so I'm excited. Kumba's top 3 favorite support of mine, so I am super hyped with this. Throwback decreased the cooldown by 2 seconds. I like it. Groggy Strike increased base damage. Used to be 70 to 270, is now 90 to 290, so 20 every single rank. I'll take it. Nothing crazy, but you'll be able to clear a little bit more, and your stun does more damage, so we'll take it. We'll see how it works. Nemesis. This is the change I was talking about. So we already have nerfs to, wow, that was far up here, to Blink, which kind of goes hand in hand with Nemesis. You see a lot of Blink Nemesis. And we have some nerfs to Heartseeker, which obviously goes hand in hand with Nemesis pretty well. You pair like Heartseeker and Crusher and Blink onto Nemesis, it hurts. So Nemesis getting some big nerfs here. We'll go back down. Divine Judgment. Decreased Nemesis self-buff duration from 8 seconds to 5 seconds, and it also increased the cooldown. Her cooldown used to scale down. It started at 90 and used to go down to 70. So come late game, you could blink in, use this combo like a Heartseeker passive with a Crusher passive, and deleted. So it's now 90 seconds at all ranks. So the self-buff gets reduced, and it's just a flat 90-second cooldown now. Nuwa Nuwa getting interesting changes kind of all the way around to her entire kit. So her Mysterious Fog decreased the mana. Used to be 70 to 90, is now 60 to 80. A little more mana consistent. And decreased the time that Nuwa is revealed in the fog from 3 seconds to 1 second. So her fog gets a big time buff all the way around. Clay Soldiers increased the base movement speed from 350 to 365. So some changes to her there. Shining Metal decreased the mana cost from 60 to 50 and increased the power scaling from 65 to 75. And her Fire Shards can pass through player-made deployables while lifting off. So that one isn't a huge change. What that means, basically, let's say you're getting ready to ult and Amir puts a wall in front of you. Rather than just kind of being stuck there, you're going to just go right through that wall. Nothing too crazy there, but her 3 gets a power buff and a mana buff. Her 2 gets a movement speed buff, and her 1 gets a mana buff and an ability buff. You get to stay stealth in there for more often. So literally her entire kit from her 1 to her 4 is buffed. Excited to see what Nuwa can do. Nuwa's an interesting god because she revolves around a lot of comboing. So I'm excited to see how she can perform. Raw gets an increased movement speed from 355 to 360. Celestial Beam increased power from 80% to 90%. Thoth, getting some much needed nerfs here, decreased the magical penetration per stack from 4 to 3. Total is changed 20 to 15. Glyph of Pain decreased the scaling on both the ability and basic attack trigger from 10% to 5%, and adjusted the description to show the ability's bonus damage, to better describe how this ability's bonus damage applies to basic attack projectiles. That is going to wrap it up for this patch, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how you like this patch. Are you excited for the changes? Let me know what skin you're excited for. Like I said, whenever they do release the PTS, I will do a video on all of these skins and all that good stuff to come. Thank you guys for the support. Peace.